Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodity Futures Report for Wednesday, January 12. I'm going to start with the US dollar index before I start the commodities because obviously it's got some bearing on things. Commodities are traded in US dollars, of course. So one thing I've got here that I'm pretty confident about is that we have one more high here. It's also possible, depending on how you count this here, because I'm not that keen on 1, 2, 3, 4 here because it overlaps a lot. So that means it'll be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So that means we'd end up with an extra wave over here. And I've got that with the euro as well, euro US dollar. Now, this correction here is getting a little bit messy, and I'm not sure of the best way to count it. So I'll just need to just observe it for a little while. I've tried to make a little bit of an effort here as an A wave, a B wave, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. But yeah, there's overlaps here, but it's a better fit than having it as a triangle pattern. So I'm not quite sure. But even as this here, there would still be another, even from this little point here, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come down here a little bit further. It's also to within it's also within group 2 here, so I should just put this here. We have talked about this before. So group 2, when we talk about 5 here, I'll just remove that. When we talk about 5, then the next number is 8. And then when we talk about 8, we talk about 65 and 72. And we just haven't got that support in there on that 96.50 yet. And that's group 2, so it's not in there, it's being sort of rejected, and it looks like it really wants to sort of pull back into this area here. So we couldn't, if we go closer to the market, then the closest number is the 96, of course. So we would, if this was going to be bullish, we would now need 96 as support. So, but otherwise we'll see it drift a little bit lower in the meantime. Alrighty, off to the commodities and starting with iron ore as we do. So one of the things with iron ore here is that you may know that last time we spoke we were looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we've got 5. I don't think that little 5th wave up here is finished yet, so I won't go to the intraday, but when it is finished we'll look back and we kind of want to get this pullback in here. Now it may pull back deeper than that, I'm not quite sure yet, but one of the good things here is that we've got a 5-wave structure to the upside. So that means that in one way or another we're going to be pulling back for wave 2 or wave B. So it's looking pretty kind of positive here now. I've had this as the A, the B and the C wave here. I know that the whole move is corrective. I just don't know if the ABC is right, because I know this first little move here is in 3 waves, so it's corrective. So we've built a case here, and it's building along quite nicely. So yeah, I don't know if the US dollar affects this too much. Obviously this is from China, this particular exchange. So off to the next one, which is gold, US spot gold. So we're looking at a triangle pattern here, and that's going sort of okay. We've had this, it rallied a little bit higher than I expected it to. So we've got to try to make heads or tails of that. I'm still expecting a move down here for this. So let's go in and have a little look at this on the 4-hour chart to start with. So I suppose we can look at it in different ways. I've just looking from wave D over here, because we're going from wave D and we're looking for 3 waves. So in the outset, we're looking for the A wave here. We're looking for a B wave where I had the B wave over here, and I think we may need to change it. On our website, we've got a triangle pattern happening over here for this as well, but I don't think the triangle pattern is valid because we've got this as an impulse wave here as 5 waves here. So I'll need to readjust that. But anyway, from B to C here, we need 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would make wave E. So from wave D here, an A and a B and a C for wave E or 4, and that's what we're looking at. So it is giving me a bit of a hard time in this little space here. We know, it's because it's got 5 waves here, you'd think that it would be bullish at this point, and Yeah, but the problem is we don't really have 5 waves in this move here. You know, if we had 5 waves here, we had 3 here, well then, sure, not a problem, but we don't have that. So we just need to be a little bit mindful of what we do here. I know it's fantastic and positive for, you know, moving higher, and the gold folks will love that, and, you know, bless their cotton socks, but I still think there's one more little move down here, so we just need to be mindful of that. I mean, if it goes up, well, that's all fantastic for, you know, gold stocks and this and that, but we're also expecting GDX to sort of to rally into wave 2 and move down as well. So yeah, so in this case here, let's drill in a little bit further from the 4-hour chart to the 1-hour chart. I mean, at face value, we've got an A and a B and a C wave here, so we should go and take that top out there. But we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so we may end up getting, you know, 5 waves up here, 3 waves back is a bit of a long shot, as a wave 2, and then a wave 3, 4, and 5. Could wave B finish like that? Yeah, don't know. Bit of a long shot, but possible. We'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, because we don't have 5 waves in this move here, then we're in, you know, we're in some type of sideways corrective pattern here. That's what we can make of it, as an A and a B and a C wave here for this. And yeah, there's a good case for 5 waves here. So this could finish, this 5 from wave 4 to 5 here could have a little bit more to go in there and finish off, and then just start working lower at that point. So we still need to be careful about this. Yeah, let's go to the tick chart and just have a little bit more of a glimpse into the details of that 5-wave structure moving to the upside. So I was thinking of it like this. It's pretty clear that we got 5 waves here at this stage. I mean, look, I hope I'm wrong and it's just sort of bullish and it, you know, just continues to go. But I just don't see that just yet. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. A bit of an overlap there. Yes, I understand that. A little ABC here. We've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. For 3, 4 here. That's okay. And then we've got this wave 5 moving up through here. So there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. So I think we're pretty close to the end of this here. I haven't like totally pulled it apart or anything, but yeah, we could see it as a C wave in here, and we've also got this little trend. So you can kind of start to see that it's in this triangle sort of pattern here, but yeah, I've just simplified it as a wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. We could have a D and an E here, but otherwise 1 and 2 here, so we'll keep an eye on all of that. We'll see how that, see how it plays out, just gather some more information. We don't have 3 waves up here, we have 5 waves. And it could probably still increase as well, because we could always look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then the 3rd wave and the 4th and the 5th just for the top of the 3rd, then a 4th and a 5th. So we could look at it as, if I can just copy this here for a moment, put that up there, and we could look at this like to go further up, you know, as 1 and 2 here, and then 3. I'm just shooting the breeze here, just letting you know that, you know, there's different ways to look at things. And wave 4, it probably makes more sense, this one actually, just to take the top out and suck everybody in and then drop, you know. So we'll just put this here like that, and this wave B could go over there, so we could get something like that. So let's just bring this back in. I want to get that other top over there just to have a look at that. It would see it still keep us under this top here, you know, having something like this. So all of this, the A wave, a B wave, and this C wave that I've currently got here, it's possible, but I mean, it looks so much like a 3rd wave here, doesn't it? So 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. So even I would need this to play out too here, you know, before we actually think. But yeah, because in the bigger picture, if we go back to the, when you're unsure, zoom out, whatever they say. So just back to the bigger picture for a moment. So this B wave that we've got here, we could put it over here for this. That would also make sense, you know, just keeping it under here. It looks like something like that's going to occur, you know. But I still need this leg here because of the impulse wave here. And it's not like this is impulsive to the upside, you know. If it was, well then I'd be a bit more positive. But I'm just suggesting that we need to be a little bit more cautious about things. I mean, silver's looking alrighty too, so let's just have a look at silver. So just in the bigger picture here, we can look at, I mean, you could probably count this differently up here, but an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave down to here. So that's all looking quite good at that point. And it looks like we've got a little bit of a 5 wave there, and it would have been nice if we made a bit more of a high above that little spike there for that 5 waves. But let's just, is there any other way that this could play out here? I mean, the stochastics are suggesting that we're going to get a move up, but even if we got a move up with gold and then sort of collapsed again here, so we could get a move up like this as an ABC pattern, and let's just assume for a moment that I've got this count wrong here, well then we'll be going down again. So even if we do make a new high above here, be very careful about going long. You can sure do it, but manage the position, or even go in earlier, one below the level, one above the level, and we'll track 5 waves up here in a bit of detail. Okay, when that pulls back, we'll have a look at how it pulls back. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that this can be 1 ABC for 2 and then come down for 3, 4 and 5 coming back down here. So we'll just need to be a little bit careful about that. So yeah, just working through the problem. Don't have any answers, but just, you know, just shooting the breeze here a little bit further on all of this. I mean, you would expect this to come down, wouldn't you, if gold came down? And we're expecting the US dollar to push up as well. If this was going to rally at that stage, we'll just see. It's at the 50%, so yeah, it will just go to here. Oops, daisy, I didn't mean to do that. I could just go there. Or let's just do what I normally do, put this across here for that. So it would need to be above the 2.4 really as support to call a bullish market in, and then would build above, you know, below the $25 mark and then above the 25 as well on that. So just be a little bit mindful about this story. And the crude oil, it's nearly topped, nearly getting there. I did check on it. So just on the daily chart here, I'm just going to move that just over to here a little bit and that to here. And we're going to go in the tick chart and just look at this last little leg through here for this. So on the 100 ticks, bring in a bit more data, 15 enough. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So we're just basically going from wave 4 to wave 5 here. So let's just count that out. So we had wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in here. So we had 5 waves to here. I've been over that. And then we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave. Wave 4 here just sort of came back and found support on top of that. So that was sort of okay. So now we can just grab this here. I'll just pop this here. We'll just need to look at that a little bit closely. Wave 1 and 2 is in there somewhere. And then we'll look at wave 3. That looks all good. And wave goodbye. Wave 4, wave 5. So we just really focused in on this here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So that's dropped below there. So that really cements that in there as wave 1 and 2 here. And then you can see here we've got wave 1 in here somewhere and 2, and then a nice strong third wave here. So I'm not quite sure how that finishes off just there, but would be pretty close to putting wave 4 in here. Now wave 4 could be here, or it could be over here. There may be some sort of more complicated sort of thing there, and then we'll have wave 5 to the upside. Still, might go up a little bit further than I thought. So we've got 1, 2 and 3 here that make up group 1. So you have to remember that even down here at 65, 650, 72 in here. Close enough. So that's all of group 2 there. And that becomes the support, because normally this over here, all this consolidation in here, because when it comes up to, you know, group 2 here, it's doing what it's always, well, most of the time does, and then all that consolidation brings the support over here for this. So this is the swing range from group 1 to group 2. So we don't want it finding support on number 3 up here, the $83 mark there. If it does find some tested, it can trade above it, but it needs to come back and test it. It needs to get a classic trading levels pattern there for a move up. The next level is 5 after that. So anyway, we're quite close. Let me just have a closer look at this. I mean, we could call this 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5 here, and then back again here. That would possible. It's a little bit dodgy, but we've all done dodgy things. It's part of the fun, isn't it? So 1 and 2. I'm just guessing here, really, so just giving us a bit of an idea up there, something like that, taking us a bit higher there and bringing these the blues dude over, the classical and the Roman. Okay, so it'll be something like that. Okay, let's cruise along and look at copper. US high-grade copper. So as you know, we're doing the Fandangle triangle thing, the A, the B, the C, the D, and the E here. So we're going for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for wave D, and then an A and a B and a C. Dog scratching in the background. And let's go to, I don't know if I had it on the 1 hour, I normally go to the tick, so I'll just go to the tick chart here. He scratches like that when he doesn't get his treat after his breakfast. Right, so sorry, I lost the plot. There we go. Yeah, so yesterday when we talked, we were looking at, well, let's just get it a bit more here, wave C, and we're looking for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave for wave D here, and then we've got to come back down this way, as you know. It may not do, because if, you know, we should pull back anyway, but anything above that, and we'll be looking to go, you know, long at that point. And we've been looking at that ETF. Let me just see if I can just bring that up. ETF, it wasn't the emerging markets. This one. Was it this one? Yeah, this one. So this one here. So in this case, we're just looking for another move up here, and then a move back, and then a move up like that. So this is the one to buy. We'll try to buy that pullback there, but if we make a mess of it, then we'll just move on in. That's 3. There's a major trading level. So that will give us a place. So in a way here, this is kind of the arrival, the reaction, and then we'll have the first high above the level up here somewhere, and then another correction, and then a move up. But it should be, because we've spent so much time here, this is like an accumulation process here. So it you know, all of this accumulation needs to unwind in the distribution of the trend. So we should be going quite high, and we may not come back that far, because normally if we just come straight up to a level and have a quick move back and then have the 5 waves up, then we'll have an ABC. But if you've got this large accumulation process going on, well, then it needs to unwind through that distribution process. Wyckoff's work, of course. And yeah, so that's all good. So we can go long above. I won't go into it now, but yeah, and that's the ETF there. So it's at a nice cheap price, and you know, as I mentioned before with the copper, if we can just go back to the, I don't know if it's a monthly chart or something or other. Let's just go back in here. I mean, it's pretty exciting, really, because LME copper will be the same as well. We've got this large triangle pattern here, and this is very common in emerging markets and the resource sector and so on. Crude oil's the same. We looked at that. So I can count 5 waves up here. So it's probably wave 1 here, but it's just such a really weird wave 2, I have to say, in here for all of this. But yeah, we'll just keep plugging along with this. But the point being here is that, you know, this is a triangle. This is an accumulation process here. So really you can take that distance across here, like unit for unit, and stand it on its head up here. So looking at wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, you know, I mean, does those high prices drive inflation? You know, is that going to put housing prices further up the food channel and everything else? I mean, I'm not an economist, but I don't know. I suppose it just depends on wage growth, doesn't it, as well, I guess. But commodities can get out of hand, and once I don't know much about inflation, but I certainly like studying some of these countries that are really struggling with currency problems at the moment. How fast it occurs, you know. Once the dragon's out of the box, it's pretty hard to contain by the looks of it. Alrighty, anyway, enough of all of that. Let's move on to nickel now. Is it nickel? Nickel then gas, yeah. So, nickel. Oh, here we go. So, it popped up really nicely overnight as expected, and I mean, I just love this trend, you know. I mean, it's just you know, it's like it's just building, you know, just building. I think this is, it's definitely the commodities that are where the money's at. Anyway, we're expecting it to break higher based on the fact that we've got 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and we looked at this little 1 and 2 here. So, you know, it gap. This doesn't show it on this weekly chart. Here's a weekly chart, if you can see that. But yeah, we've had a little gap in here, and she's cruising along really nicely. So it'll be at 25 in no time. So let's just cruise in. I'm going to go straight to the hourly chart and just pick it up in this space here. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for the third wave and the fourth wave there, and then the fifth wave. So we know that we had the wave 1. We'll look for wave 2 to pull back. Shoulda, coulda, woulda picked it up here, but wanted to anyway. Didn't. Blah blah blah. But we can see now that I'll have to pull this apart to see where we are with this at the moment. It looks a little bit short for the third wave, but I'll just pop that in there, and then this will just make. I'll have to do some more work on this, but I'm just giving you some idea of what we're sort of looking at here. We will see a bit of a classic trading levels pattern around here. We don't need all of these now. So you might be long based off that, or off the tick chart here as well, 100 ticks. So that was the other little 5 waves. So we had, this is wave 1 here, and have I got wave 2 there? No. Wave 2 there. So look, this has been a pretty good exercise of all of this, really. I mean, obviously it's gapped, so and we can just go in here really again. I mean, if you've got positioned in here, and we'll work it over here as well. We'll just keep adding at this particular point, and yeah, I think we'll work a stop with this as well. I think that would be the civil thing to do. So we'll just put the stop here at the moment. Normally I wouldn't put a stop anywhere above here until this next level became the support. So what I will do is I'll just drop it back here a little bit. But technically you could put it probably here, but just in case we get something out of left field or something, you know, something happening in the futures market. Now I did look at trying to find an ETF for this, and it was mentioned to me JJN is a is an ETF for nickel, but I couldn't find it on my platform here for this. Let me just bring up another chart. So Control New, that's the FTSE. So just chuck JJN in there. So I don't get any JJN in here for that. So it's not there. I'll just have a look on the. This is quite sort of interesting. This is just for the Aussie audience, really. This is NIC, called Nickel Mines. Very simple. It's a daily chart, and we're at the 150 here, thereabouts. So what you can do here, you can see that there's little 5 waves here, so it'll go a little bit higher, but we'll get a little classic trading levels pattern here and then move up. So this is all good. So we can look at that as wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. So for the Aussie audience, that. But what I wanted to do here is just have a look at this JJN here. Okay, so that's it there. And I don't think it's a ETF. It's something like that. It's actually a note. So it's not an ETF. It's a subsection of that. So it's a note. Okay, so here. Just want to have a look on the weekly chart for this first. Sorry to take a left thing here, but I think this is kind of important because, yeah, well, that's definitely the same pattern, isn't it? So with this market here, we can just look at it in a couple of different ways, or just leave it on the weekly here. It's a shame I don't have it on the other platform. I don't mind TradingView. It's good, but I just find the Elliott Wave labeling on here just a bit sort of cumbersome. So this 30 here, just close enough. So this 30 here is a major trading level, so I'm going to put it in there as 30. So we can expect this market to play out a little bit here for this. So there will be, you know, a little classic trading levels pattern sort of happening here. But I can see here we've got the same pattern. We've got 1, 2. We've got 5 waves to here as 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here, and so on. So in this case, because we've got such a strong situation behind this, I think just building in anywhere around here, like dollar cost averaging to a point. I mean, there's no leverage, so that's good. So I'm just going to save this in my commodity index here, so we can look at that. And yeah, I'll just remind myself. I'll know what it is just by looking at the pattern on the chart, but we'll put nickel in there, and it's not an ETF, it's a note. I'm sure that's what that means. It's a slightly different situation. Okie dokie. Anyway, that's that story, so we don't need that. And that's that. So guns are blazing. Let's cruise on and have a look at natural gas. So with natural gas here, I mean, the only way I can be wrong here, I mean, I could probably put wave 4 here and wave 5 here and put wave 3 here, but would still expect another move down after this here. I'm still 1 wave short, because you can see that's the 3rd wave here, you know, nice and strong. So we've got to get a 4th and a 5th, finish it off. So I'll put this back here. So we may get 1 more new low, or we may get 2. So there's something that we just need to continue to play out here a little bit. But I will just label that to remind myself that I could do that by just copying that, popping that there, just so I'll double check on that later. And I'm going to make it much smaller, and I'll just fade it out. It just tells me I need to check on that, you know. But the 38.2% retracement level comes in at 4.3. I think it does a little, not 4.2, but 4.3. And we've been looking at that on the tick chart. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, coming from this high here, coming to these lows, I'll double check. 38.2% here is at 4.3 area there. So that's what I was sort of thinking. We're going to get some little structure up here. It's a little bit difficult to, oh, it's not that difficult really. Oh yeah, a little bit dodgy in there. Some of it I can see, some of it I can't. But we're definitely going further up here. So because that's the 38.2% retracement level at 4.3, if we get a classic trading levels pattern sitting on that, well, then we'll start to build in with a small position there, and then we can add on 400 and 500 and keep building in on that side. Is there an ETF for this, for the gas? I'm sure there must be. If somebody wants to enlighten me, or I'll just check myself. I don't know what I've got to check that. That's 5 waves there. So that's got to be that one. So an A. Anyway, more work to be done. I'll just leave that there until I wonder why I put that there. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. So thanks for tuning in. Cheers.